What's up, guys? My name is Mike Herring. Thanks for hanging out today. Today, as of this recording, is June 30th. The new interns start tomorrow, July 1st. With any luck, I can record this and edit it and get it out so that somebody can actually see it before July 1st. But I think regardless, it'll be helpful even afterwards. About a week ago, I released a poll on my Instagram account saying, what do you want to know about intern year? And the number one response I got was, what do I do if I blank? It was usually, what do I do if I don't know how to do something? Sounds fair. I think a lot of that has to do with experience, but I think there are certainly some guidance points that we can probably go through. So today, nothing fancy, just kind of a one-on-one deal. Hopefully I can provide some value. Hopefully I can help you out a little bit. So let's jump in. First things first, interns, you will be paged all of the time. The nurses are going to page you for orders, for vital signs issues, for everything. It's not appropriate to ignore it if you don't know what's going on. But if you don't know what to do, ask. That's totally fine. I'll give you an example. Patient's potassium is low. Not super low, but low enough, and you want to replete it. So you go to the EMR, you go to the meds, you type in potassium. There's 40 different options. Which option do I pick? Oh, I could probably just go ask my senior. Well, my senior's putting in a line with the fellow, and the attending is giving a lecture. So who do I ask? The nurse. Go ask the nurse. The nurse paged you. The nurse knows what to give the patient. Ask the nurse. If they give you a hard time about it, it says more about them than it does you. Okay? But go ask the nurse. I guarantee you, every one of those nurses has more experience in that particular unit than you do. In fact, they probably have more experience in that unit than your senior does. And maybe the fellow, and some of them maybe even the attending. They've done this before. You can ask them. In fact, you probably should ask them more than not. They're going to know how stuff works in that particular unit. They are. They're an invaluable resource. They know their stuff. Talk to the nurses. Oh, by the way, some of them are pretty nice too, and they can be like your friends and stuff. That's totally a thing too. So what do you do if you don't know what order to put in? Ask. Number 2, what do I do if I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing? It's not a bad question, actually. It shows you're proactive, shows you want to help, shows you want to do stuff, shows you want to learn. But what do you do if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing? This is where you'll start to sense a pattern in this video. You should ask. You always want to be learning stuff. It may not just be medicine by the textbook. It may also be how the workflow happens. Even if you're in the same place for residency as you were in med school. It's different. You get a different job now, different title, different responsibilities. It's all different. You gotta ask. Start with the notes. Well, what do I do if the note template is different than what I'm used to back at my home institution? You ask. I've written a lot of notes. I'd be happy to tell you. Your senior's written a lot of notes. He or she will be happy to tell you. Your fellow, same deal. Attending, maybe it's been a while. But, yeah. He or she will let you know too. Well, what happens if I've done all my notes? Then what do I do? Well, did you call your consults? Oh yeah, I gotta call infectious disease for this guy. Okay, do that. Did we talk to Paul about this lady? No? Okay, we can do that. Alright, Mike, well, what about when I'm done with all my consults? There's always something to be done. Even if it's working on discharge summaries for all your patients, there's always something to be done. Always. You just have to ask. Alright, Michael, but wait a minute. During rounds, we talked about getting this imaging study for this guy. I don't know why we're doing that. Do I just ignore it in my note? No. Okay. You ask. It's a beautiful thing, right? Just because now you're at the hospital and you're a doctor Doesn't mean you have all the responsibilities. It doesn't mean you have all of the pressure on you. It's a team sport. It's a big, giant support system. Okay? We will tell you exactly why we think this patient needs this study. And it's our job in a teaching institution to teach. But I can't tell you everything it is you need to know, especially if it's something that you don't know, if you don't ask me about it. The other thing I wanted to do with this video is normalize asking questions. You know, I'm a very firm believer in there's no such thing as a stupid question. If you don't understand something, and you've sat and you've given it significant thought, you should probably ask. Remember, this isn't a competition. Alright, this is not a competition about who knows more medicine their first day out of med school. It's not a competition about who knows more medicine their 10,000th day out of med school. Doesn't matter. This is about patient care. If you're taking care of somebody and you don't understand something, you don't understand why we're doing something, you should think about it. And if you still don't get it, you need to ask. Again, ask your senior, ask your fellow, ask your attending, ask your nurse. You can ask the phlebotomist if it's a proper question. You can ask physical therapy and occupational therapy. PT and OT are actually sneaky good at disposition issues. Like, they know their stuff. You can ask the patient care techs a bunch of questions they'll have the answers to. They'll surprise you too. You need to ask somebody. It is about learning so you can take better care of your future patients. Remember, patient care and learning. 1 and 2. That's our jobs. Finally, I want to say this. During your first day, week, month, year, you will do some stuff that's wrong. That's okay. It is a learning experience. Everybody messes up a little bit sometimes. More often than not, you'll feel terrible about messing up, and it won't have any impact on the patient. Like at all. Mainly because somebody's going to catch your mistake before it actually goes into effect. Whether it's a nurse, or the pharmacist, or your senior, or your fellow, or your attending, or whomever it is, somebody's going to notice it before it actually happens. That's okay. That's what we're here for. We know you're going to make mistakes. It's okay. I want you to feel okay about making mistakes. You shouldn't feel spectacular about it because they're still mistakes. But you should feel okay about it. Again, it's a learning experience. And early in your career, I mean, even later in your career, if somebody gives you a hard time about either being new or making a mistake, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money I don't have that whenever that person was new, they weren't spectacular. But then they got experience, and they learned stuff, and they got better. Hopefully everybody can afford you the same opportunity. If they don't, it says a lot more about them than it does you. I promise. So, work hard, always keep an open mind, always learn stuff. Intern year is not great, it gets better. You get smarter, you get more experienced, you get a better idea how everything works in the hospital. It gets a lot better. But for now, ask early, ask often, and ask everything. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you got any value out of it at all, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. New interns, I wish you all the best of luck. Feel free to reach out if you're having any problems. You know, sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger on the internet than it is your own staff. I get it. If you're having some issues, please reach out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.